Financial illiteracy is a severe threat, a systemic risk to the United States economy. Think about it. If the average American adult can only answer 50% of basic financial literacy questions correctly, that means most American adults, or at least half, don't understand basic things like interest rates, APR, credit card programs, the different features that exist in these credit cards, compound interest, the different types of retirement vehicles that they have access to and the mechanical differences between them, the investment options that exist in them. What's the difference between a target date fund and an index fund, right? Above the line deductions, below the line deductions, the nature of our progressive tax system. None of this is taught in school, which directly speaks to, or at least is one of the reasons as to why financial illiteracy is so prevalent in the United States.
The rich don't work harder than you. They just use money differently. Now, most people invest once, but the 1%, they use the same dollar 3, 5, and even 10 times without working more. I know because I've been on both sides. I built multiple businesses, sold them, and put everything into real estate at 28 years old thinking I was set for life. But when the 2008 great financial crash happened, I lost almost everything. That's when I learned the hard way how the wealthy actually use money. And once I applied their strategies, my wealth grew 5 times, even 10 times faster. So today, I want to show you exactly how they do it so you can start stacking your wealth just like the top 1%. I'm going to break down the math. I'm going to show you real world examples that you could do this year to make 500% more on your money with just 3 simple moves.
Most financial advisors will never tell you this because the truth would cost them credibility and commissions. They'll say, just buy term and invest the rest. But if that really worked, then why are so many people in America still broke at age 65? They'll call permanent insurance a scam. Cash value is trash value. Then turn around and sell you mutual funds that charge layered fees, management fees, fund fees, and trading, often totaling anywhere between 1.5% to 3% a year once you stack it all up. So let's be clear. The issue isn't term insurance or permanent insurance. The issue is ignorance. And ignorance has a price tag. How?
Turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up to another level. We gon' give him all the praise, cause it ain't nobody better. We gon' turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up to another level. We gon' give him all the praise, cause it ain't nobody better. Can't help myself, can't help myself, I can't help myself. When I get to praising up in this place, I lose my breath.
Why they party? I'm in here grinding. Money I'm stacking. Why they rock diamonds? I can't relate to them, ain't my chick calming. I set a goal for me 2 or 3 commas. 7 figures, 8 figures to 9 figures. On a slow pace to get rich quick. Same time we just think different. Cause when you make it, it hit different.
What it do, baby? It's your partner Dale back in the saddle again for another edition of the Accountable Podcast. It's on Friday, but it's it's on Friday, but it's all good, baby. You get to see me, guys. Do me a favor, if you don't mind, guys, before we dive into the topic, man, like, share, and subscribe, whatever platform that you are on. There may be a little bell there. If you could click on that bell, so when I come live, you come see your partner, man. You see him saying, I hope you guys had a phenomenal Thanksgiving. I sure did, because my Cowboys won. How about them Cowboys? Don't shout me down. It's all good, baby. Do me a favor, guys, if you could, guys. Like, share, subscribe. Now, let's get down to the topic, guys, because I have to get in and I have to get it out. Okay, guys? Guys, this topic here has been asked about me constantly concerning wealth building, real estate investing, private equity investing, things of nature. I'm going to say this up front. I am not a financial advisor, a life insurance agent, any agents at all, period. I am a real estate developer, an investor, and a private equity investor. That is my trade, or that's my sweet spot. That's my occupation. It's what I do on a day-to-day basis. But today, we are talking about wealth building, guys. And I think you're going to like this topic because of the fact that I get asked this question a lot concerning wealth building. So let's go over the topics real fast. Here we go, guys. Number one, man, Does America have a financial literacy problem? Man, we're going to invite in a brother that can unpack what it is. Here in a second, it's going to talk about the basics. And you're going to be shocked at what you actually learn. Number two, how the 1% build wealth, how they actually do it. We got another expert who's going to come in and unpack how they do it because he's done it several times. All right. Number three, this is going to be the barn burner. Term versus permanent or cash value life insurance. Man, we're going to talk about what they use and why they use it, right? And the strategy, right? And last, we're going to talk about the truth about wealth building, all right? The truth about it. We're going to talk about all of that today. And I want you guys to kind of put on your brain real quickly. The thing I want you guys to focus on is the word strategy, right? Strategy. Don't pick a side at all. Just think about strategy because different people have different strategies. Your strategy works best for you, right? It might not work best for somebody else. So you have your own individual strategy. So let's dive into this topic right now. The first step we're going to talk about today, guys, is going to be this here. Man, does America have a financial literacy problem? There's some topics that the school system has never taught you. And my question is, was it on purpose? Okay, there's some basics in finance that the school has not taught you, right? And what I want to do is I want to unpack that real quick and ask some honest questions, okay? Some honest questions. So it's probably wise for you to get your pen and pad because this is probably going to be one of the most important kind of podcasts that I'm going to do because I'm going to unpack how my brain works and how I sit down and reason with other investors and ask them for their strategies as well, no matter the industry that they actually built it in. All right, let's dive into this thing real quickly. Let's bring in my partner, man. He's probably one of the most wisest guys when it comes to finance that I've actually ever met, as far as explaining in a way that makes sense to the novice person. All right, I always say, talk to me like I'm dumb. Right, doesn't mean that I'm dumb, but I always say, talk to me like I'm a first grader. This gentleman here does it. Now, he uses some big words, but he's very good at explaining those big words, right? He did a presentation, not a presentation, but a short, I guess, diatribe on answering this question. Does America have a financial literacy problem? Let's dive into it. Here we go. Let's get it in. All right. This is Deontay Blade Ford. Okay. Deontay Blade Ford. Follow him because his content is fire. Let's get it in.
Is a severe threat, a systemic risk to the United States economy. Think about it. If the average American adult can only answer 50% of basic financial literacy questions correctly, that means most American adults, or at least half, don't understand basic things like interest rates, APR, credit card programs, the different features that exist in these credit cards, compound interest, the different types of retirement vehicles that they have access to and the mechanical differences between them, the investment options that exist in them. What's the difference between a target date fund and an index fund, right? Above the line deductions, below the line deductions, the nature of our progressive tax system. None of this is taught in school, which directly speaks to, or at least is one of the reasons as to why financial illiteracy is so prevalent in the United States.
Stop right there before he continues. I agree with him 1,000%. Some of the terms, if you guys listen to me, some of the terms that he actually mentioned, you may not understand. Why? School didn't teach you that. I mean, these are the basics. The basics. Let's keep going, though. Let's let them unpack. Here we go.
The things that we're discussing here, or that I'm discussing here, these aren't advanced financial planning questions. These are very basic questions that determine whether a person lives a life that is ridden with debt, or whether an individual is severely underprepared or underfunded for retirement, or adequately funded and prepared for retirement. The implications of this are very serious, because when you have a large portion of the American population that is financially illiterate, it's an inevitability that they're going to become dependent on the state. And that means expansion of welfare programs, more deficit spending, running up the national debt, which inevitably will erode the purchasing power of the dollar, which is really what inflation is. That's why I'm calling financial illiteracy a systemic risk. And I'm calling for
Yes.
politicians to immediately and urgently begin implementing financial literacy courses in K through 12 curriculum. Financial illiteracy.
So right there, guys, right there is what all of this systematic issues that people complain about, right? And we know what they are, right? This is a systematic issue. This is. Why didn't school teach you this type of stuff? I ain't learned about it growing up. I had to go out and read a book. I was actually literally in college, right? And I asked my professor, hey, professor, this was in a business class. When will we begin to talk about money? Her response to me was, you'll learn that when you begin working a job. My response to her was, so why am I paying you? There's a ton of individuals going to school, getting riddled with a lot of student loan debt, right? A lot of student loan debt right now, guys. And what's happening is when they get this piece of paper called a diploma, which I believe is valuable because I have one, right? They can't find a job because they were sold the dream of you go to school and you get a safe, secure job with benefits, and then you retire in 40, 50 years. But then if you go through that whole type of context from school, college, working, then retirement, there's a lot of people that can't retire right now. Or that when they retire, they have to get a part-time job to make ends meet. What happened to the dream? What happened to it? What Deontay is talking about is spot on. But it seems to be this type of questions is never asked. It's never asked. We just go for what has been sold. And it's the elevator pitch. Go to school, get a safe, secure job with benefits, right? And then retire. But last time I checked, America's going broke. They say we are $38 trillion in debt. That's what they tell us. They tell us this, guys. But in that $38 trillion, guess what is not included in that $38 trillion? Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. Those are liabilities. That's called an off-balance sheet accounting. If you and I did this, we would go to jail for fraud. What? So again, what Deontay right now is talking about, guys, I agree 1000% with him. Is my question is this here, is what is your reality? Comment below. In school, I'm talking about scholastic and maybe even college too, right? College. If just rewind this and listen to what he talks about. Were you taught any of these type of terms? What they mean, how to identify them? I even go a little bit deeper. Would you guys ever talked about an income statement and balance sheet? Banks don't fund off of your grades. They fund off two documents: an income statement and a balance sheet. At the end, I'm going to show you what those look like so you can at least see it, maybe for the first time. Because we're in a debtor nation. Money is debt. So are you bankable to attract good debt, whether it be from a bank financing or equity from an investor? Only way it's determined is through your income statement and balance sheet for good debt. Bad debt, go personal. Go personal. Make sense, guys? So again, I had to begin here to ask the question because of the fact that most Americans, if you look at social media, a lot of social media, talking to people. I mean, I'm sitting there talking to people. Even the politicians, guys. I sat down with a lot of politicians. You know, some of them can't even read about income statement, balance sheet. They can't read it. But they're voting on multi-trillion-dollar bills. How does that make sense? Most of them have never ran a business, never cut a check for employees. went to school, got a degree, and they went right into politics, but they know how to run the country. Excuse me? How does that make sense? If I'm off, please hold me accountable. Let me know below. Again, just asking some honest questions. That's it. That's all I'm asking, guys. So now, guys, got that out of the way. All right, now let's get to the fun part. All right, to the fun part. Boom. Guys, let's talk about how the 1% build wealth, and they build it in layers. And they use a combination, but I'm gonna focus really on these three here. They use life insurance, what? Tax strategies, assets, and compounding. All that is compounding. You don't believe me? I figured you may not believe me at all. All right, guys. Let me bring in somebody that's actually done this. And I've done this before. I do this, right? But let's bring in somebody else that can bring this in real fast. You guys have seen him before in the past. I think he's a monster when it comes to this stuff. His name is Mark Moss. Let's bring Mark Moss in, guys. For those who have not met him before, you're going to meet him again. You're going to meet him real fast. Let's go on. So we got to talk about, guys, and then we can get in and get it in. All right, give me 1 second. Let's get it in. Here we go.
The rich don't work harder than you. They just use money differently. Now, most people invest once, but the 1%, they use the same dollar 3, 5, and even 10 times without working more. I know because I've been on both sides. I built multiple businesses, sold them, and put everything into real estate at 28 years old thinking I was set for life. But when the 2008 great financial crash happened, I lost almost everything. That's when I learned the hard way how the wealthy actually use money. And once I applied their strategies, my wealth grew 5 times, even 10 times faster. So today, I want to show you exactly how they do it, so you can start stacking your wealth just like the top 1%. I'm going to break down the math. I'm going to show you real world examples that you could do this year to make 500% more on your money with just 3 simple moves. And by the end, you're going to see exactly why most people stay broke while the top 1% keep getting richer. Now, this is not about working harder. It's about using your money differently. But before I show you the system, you need to understand the 3 money mindsets, because if you don't get this part right, you'll never build lasting wealth. So let's go.
The reason why I paid it from the get-go, guys, is I want you, for those that are new to the channel, I want to qualify who this man is. This is a venture capitalist. This is not somebody that is to play with, right? So if you come in here saying, I don't believe him, stay broke. But if you're looking to learn, listen.
Okay, most people follow the same broken formula for money because we've all been taught the same wrong things. You know, go to school, get a good job, save for retirement, for 40 years, and then hope that there's enough money to retire one day. Well, unfortunately, we can see that this doesn't work, because today, half of the baby boomers that are facing retirement have no savings.
Look at that, guys. Half of baby boomers facing retirement today have no savings. If that pitch that we just heard, right, from Mark, which I said at the beginning of this program, right, if this actually worked, will this be happening? This should not be the reality if that pitch works. Keep listening. Let's go.
And of those that do, the average balance is just about $100,000. Now, $100,000 is not going to be enough to retire. The problem, that's not how the 1% build wealth. The traditional model tells you, to work hard, save money, invest in your 401k, invest in your house, which sounds smart, right? That's what Dave Ramsey tells us. But here's the problem. Your money only does one job. You put $1 into the stock market, it's locked up. You buy real estate, the money is tied down until you sell the house. But the rich, they don't let their money sit. They put it to work in multiple places at the same time. That's why they get rich faster and they stay rich longer. Now, if you're only using your money once, you're already going to be behind. It's why most people spend their entire lives working only to end up broke anyway. Now, let me show you why that happens and how the 1% do it differently. Okay, so here's what most people don't realize. It's not how much money you make that matters, it's how you use the money. Now, you can make $10 an hour, you can make $10,000 an hour. And if you have the wrong money mindset, you're still going to end up broke. Because at the end of the day,
stop right there. Myron Golden. I call him my modern day Joe. Myron Golden. N-Y-R-O-N Golden, right? This is what he said, and it was profound to me. He said, it is easier to make $1 million an hour than to make $10 an hour. Let that sit. He said, he's done it before several times. It's easier to make $1 million in an hour than to make $10 an hour. And guys, I've made $100,000 an hour. And a lot of people that I know have made more than that than an hour. And it was easier to make. And I worked at McDonald's in high school. And I was making, at the time, I graduated in 98, so I'm giving my age. So about 97, 96, I was working at McDonald's, making the night shift. And I was making what I think, don't quote me, $7.25 an hour, under $10 an hour. And I worked my behind off for it to $7.25 an hour. After playing a basketball game, because I played high school basketball. And I have acquired a property, real estate property, right? And I have sold that property, right? Or refinanced that property and pulled out cash, guys. And when I got the check for a property that we did in Ohio, I made $116,000 in 1 hour. And I didn't do no work preparing the closing. The title company did it. Versus me being at McDonald's, I worked hard, swept the floors, worked the drive-through if I had to. Did all of that. Worked in the kitchen. Clean the dining area. Yeah. I worked hard for that $7.25. So $116,000 I made in an hour. I did very little work. I just drove to the title company, signed, and drove back. And the money was wired to my account. I ain't take a check. Versus me working $7.25 for an hour. And I worked the drive-through at McDonald's, cleaned the bathroom at times, cleaned the dining area, worked in the kitchen at times, worked the front aisles, the front registers. Yeah, that was me. Now, again, I want you guys to see that. Now, let me. I want to go to a specific place real fast for Mark. He's talking about a certain thing that I actually do. All right, but because of the fact that he goes into a lot of 1 second. I'm gonna get to it real fast. I think I might have missed it. Okay. He talks about where, let's see here, scarcity mindset. Give me 1 second, guys, because it wouldn't let me save it. But here's the thing that I want you guys to learn real fast before I get to this, is why I'm getting to it, is changing how you trading time for money, right? That was an industrial age type of model, right? Type of system making money. You go clock in, you go work your hours, and then you go home, right? So if we went from the agricultural age to the industrial age, right? Now we're in the information age. Information passes so fast now. Now we in the information age, we're in the technology age now as well. Also, AI is replacing people's jobs now, right? So the reason I'm introducing this to you guys is so you can see exactly what's going on. Okay. Here we go. Here is him talking about the first layer. Okay. First layer. Here we go. First layer of this, guys. I want you to pay attention to this first layer, right? And watch where they begin where they begin where the money's at. Here, let's get into it.
Don't use these, use whatever, mix and match them however you want, but this is what I do, okay? So we start number one with layer number one, which is the foundation, which is liquidity. Now, this is where most people get stuck.
Liquidity.
They don't have a system for stacking their money, right? That's actually why I built the Wealth Engine Assessment, to help you see exactly how many jobs your dollars are doing and where you can optimize. Because if your money is only doing one job, right now, you're already behind. Now, if you want this wealth assessment, you can grab it for free. I'll put a link down in the description down below. Just use it. Do a test. It'll show you exactly how to map this out. But let me show you how I do this. Let's start with the base layer. So for me, layer number one is life insurance. So let me just lay that out here. Now,
whoa. Wait a minute. We got to pause right there. So you mean to tell me that the wealthy, the top 1%, don't begin their money in the bank? No. Notice he didn't say bank account. He said life insurance. Why?
The first thing the wealthy do differently is they don't keep cash in a bank. Why? Because it does two things your bank never will. First, it compounds tax-free over time. Second, you can borrow against it without stopping the growth. Now, most people don't realize this. But
now, watch this. And when you borrow against it, guys, move a little closer to the thing. It's a tax write-off. This is the reason why, as a real estate investor, I don't like the 1031 exchange. And if you want to know what that is, go to a past real estate one that I've done. I explain it to you. Look up 1031 exchange. I like using life insurance because I can make money on a deal and have a capital gains tax, a capital gains event, take that cash, right, and put it into a life insurance environment. As you heard him say, it's increasing with compound interest. And also it's protected from litigation. And I can borrow against it. My money stays in that environment, but I borrow the life insurance money out of that thing. Right? You see what I'm saying? Are you rocking with me? And when you borrow, that is a loan at simple interest. So I'm making compound interest while paying simple interest. Right? And when I borrow that money out, it's a tax write-off. What you say, Chuck? I said it with my chest. I did.
But when you put money in a bank, the bank immediately lends it out to make money off of you. Meanwhile, they pay you almost nothing. But the wealthy, of course, they flip the script and they store their cash in a properly structured life insurance policy where it earns interest and they can borrow against it. Now, let me give you an example.
Stop right there. The key word is properly structured. Say it again. Properly structured. One more time for the folk in the back row. Properly structured. Okay? For all those life insurance agents out there, and I have one. Actually, I have a couple of them that I work with. Yes, keep going.
Of how the 1% do this. So let's say that you have this life insurance policy and you put, let's say, $100,000 into this account, okay? That's a high cash value life insurance, and let's say it's compounding at 5% per year. So I'm going to put it in there, and they're going to pay me 5% a year. Now, it's compounded at 5% a year, and that is tax-free, all right? Now, then what can happen is I can borrow. I can take that $100,000 out, and I would borrow, and I would pay 5% to borrow it. Now, you might go, wait a minute. If I borrow, if I'm earning 5%, but then I borrow at 5%, like, isn't that a wash? Well, no, not even close. Because let's say I borrowed this for a car, $100,000 car. So let's say over a 6-year loan, let's say times 6 years or 72 months. Let's say. Well, let's do the math and see what actually happens. During this time, what I would pay interest, this 5% on the $100,000, is about $15,955. So let's call it $16,000.
Listen.
All right. But during that same time period, this earning 5% compounding on the $100,000 is $34,009. So you can see that's quite a bit difference. As a matter of fact, the difference is my positive difference here is about $18,000 that I'm making positive during this time, even though I'm earning 5% and I'm borrowing 5%. And the reason why is because of the law of compounding. So the 100,000 is compounding every year while the loan is getting paid down. And while that sounds cool, that's not even the crazy part yet, right? If you have this extra $18,000 now over the life of that loan, and you put it into an account and it continues to compound at 5%, let's say over 20 years, that turns into some real money. As a matter of fact, that turns into $47,902, almost $50,000, which is more than some people save. As a matter of fact, as I said, most baby boomers today don't even have any money saved. And you can do that just by one simple trick of putting the money in first, taking it back out, buying whatever you're going to buy. That alone could get you $50,000. Now, what would you do with this money? Well, you can do all types of things. You could invest it into real estate. You could invest it into Bitcoin. You could invest it into businesses or whatever. We're going to talk about how you can layer that next. Okay, so now that we've got...
So guys, I wanted you guys to see that because of the fact that the origination point of what the capital is when it comes to investment strategy is pivotal here. Beginning from a compound interest environment versus a no interest environment, which is the bank, or a below 1% environment. Do you see the difference there? It's simple. Now, why is it so key simple? They are protected from when you begin in life insurance, as you said before, it increases tax-free, right? And also any litigation, it's protected from any litigation, right? And when you borrow the capital out, it's a tax write-off. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, but Dale, that's better. There's better different scenarios. It may be for you. All I'm saying is this here is, for me, it's called velocity of money. How can my money go from A to B as fast as possible, and I pay as little tax as possible, if any? My capital is protected, right? As well as it can be protected. It cannot be attacked via litigation at all, because you're in a litigious type of environment. Everybody's suing everybody. Everybody's suing everybody. Everybody's suing everybody. That's the first thing that they actually do. This is the reason why this is so important, right? Question from Alonzo: have I ever heard of 1035%? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. You can actually, guys, 1035 exchange, and I'll probably do a bad job of explaining it, but 1035 exchange is kind of like 1031 exchange. You can actually, if you have any cash value in one type of insurance policy, you can go to another one. That's kind of a simple thing of it that I know of. But I'm, again, not a life insurance person or financial advisor, not at all, period. Alonzo, he said, I did one for a client who sold a house for $76,000, and we put a large amount into annuity, help to avoid capital gains. So this is a licensed insurance agent saying this. This is not me. This ain't theory. This is being done every day, all day. And here's the key thing about it. You can have multiple insurance policies. What? Yes, you can. A good friend of mine named Matt Sapala has bought all of his cars with his life insurance cash value. None from borrowing from banks. He pays 0 interest to any bank. 0. This is not dumb. This is extremely wise. You're hearing a VC, Mark Marsh, talk about it. And I'll do another Kind Move podcast to go a little bit deeper on the investment strategies out of this. But I'm focusing on life insurance, tax strategies, assets, and compounding. You saw that in one thing right there. Right there. Wow. The new SEC chairman owns 54 insurance policies. One person, 54 insurance policies. You think he understands strategy? I would say yes, sir. Do you see how people like Grant Cardone, right? Robert Kiyosaki, Patrick Bet-David, right? Just to name some people. Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett, paid next to that President Donald Trump, paid next to zero in taxes. Trump got a tax return, guys, that I saw. It was what I believe between $1 to $3 million in 1 year. A tax return. All because of tax strategies. So this is not theory. It's not. If they can do it, why can't you do it? Why can't you do it? All you're missing is wise counsel around you. That's all you need. How they do this? Life insurance. They have a CFP. I'm sorry. A life insurance person coupled with a CFP. They have a tax strategist. They have a different tax strategies like attorneys, an EA, not a CPA. Look that up. An EA, which is tax strategist, not just a CPA. Hello. A CPA is just an accounting person. An EA is a tax strategist that is licensed by the IRS. Literally. Look it up. Assets, again, wealth managers, but in that as well also for compound interest accruing. Yes, we have all this. Yes, we do. So again, they're playing a different game than what you know. All right, now let's go ahead and move on to the next topic, guys. We got to get him. We got to get out. All right, we have to get him. Got to get out. All right. He says that his wife is an EA. It's real. It's real. This ain't bullshit. This is real. Okay. Let's get into it. Next topic. All right. Next topic. All right. Let's see. Is that it? Here we go. Now, notice how Mark talked about cash value life insurance or cash accruing life insurance, right? Notice he didn't say IRA. Notice he didn't say Roth IRA or 403B. Why? In my opinion, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you have caps on how much you can actually contribute on an annual basis in those type of models, and you don't have any control over the capital in some form or fashion. I don't want to be told how much I can contribute to my instrument because it's called my instrument because I ain't paying for it. I determine what should go in, how much should go into my instrument because I'm paying for it, right? That's to me, that's wise to me, right? Now, let's bring in somebody that I trust. He's a great friend of mine. I've known him for a time. All right. Does quite well. He is a life insurance representative. He is. But I thought it'd be wise to bring a pro in to talk about this, and I'm gonna bring him on to my podcast, and we're gonna go a little bit deeper than this real fast, guys. But this is Matt Sapala. I see. Okay, Matt Sapala, a good friend of mine, and let's have him cook a little bit on this debate on term versus life insurance, insurance exposed. Does buy term and invest the difference really work? And notice how none of the top 1% do the strategy though. This buy term, invest difference, none of them do that. No, not saying it's bad. Not saying it is bad, because you may do it. Great, do your thing. But notice how they don't do this at all. All right? Let's dive into it. Here we go.
Most financial advisors will never tell you this because the truth would cost them credibility and commissions. They'll say, just buy term and invest the rest. But if that really worked, then why are so many people in America still broke at age 65? They'll call permanent insurance a scam. Cash value is trash value. Then turn around and sell you mutual funds that charge layered fees, management fees, fund fees, and trading, often totaling anywhere between 1.5%.
He's the guy. He's right about that, guys. I'm gonna stop right there because I did a kind of a podcast, I think last year, about retirement, just on retirement, and they were talking to a wealth advisor and I'm gonna do another one on this one, or with Wells Fargo, right? Wells Fargo. And when they looked at the statement, there was so many damn fees on there, fees. And when I think it's Jeff Stossel was asking about it, and asked, "Hey, why so many fees?" I said, "You know what the response was? It's a little bit too complex for us to talk about. Complexity is their weapon against you, because why? They know you don't know." And that's the same reality for a lot of life insurance agents as well, right? Who improperly structure your policy. So it's not just on the retirement side. It's also on the life insurance side. Let's get into it.
To 3% a year once you stack it all up. So let's be clear. The issue isn't term insurance or permanent insurance. The issue is ignorance. And ignorance has a price tag. How? Let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Hey, 7-figure squad. What we go? Run it up, run it up.
What's cracking, everybody? Money Smart Guy Matt Zapala here. Welcome to the 7-Figure Squad YouTube channel. I'm a United States Marine Corps veteran, a faith-made millionaire, and a field leader of one of the fastest-growing financial insurance marketing organizations in America. And so far this year alone, my national agency has helped over 22,830-plus families protect their future with life insurance. We've written well over $28 million in life insurance premium, and we launched over 1,830 new licensed agents into their careers, and we're only 9.5 months into the year. Bottom line, we've seen it all. From the peanut gallery to the nasty relatives to the financial advisors whose advice usually starts and ends with stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and ETFs to buy. And I can say I've seen it all because I've been it all. I've held my Series 6, my Series 63, Series 26 license. Currently today I have my life and health license, but I choose not to renew my securities license, not because I left finance, but because I wanted to create free speech. And for many of you know, once you have those licenses, there is no free speech in terms of compliance on social media. So I want to create an educated marketplace, even if people never did business with me. And for people that want to do business with me, they see how I do business. So our agency doesn't buy leads. We don't cold call. 99% of our business comes from word of mouth. We don't advertise. We don't cold call. We don't go door knock. We do none of that. We see our clients weekly because they partner with us either part-time or through strategic alliances. That means we just don't preach financial education. We actually practice financial community. So today, let's separate the myths from the math, the religion from the reality, and the sales pitch from stewardship. If you've noticed here, I got a stack of books here from my library that I personally read myself. And by the way, just so you guys know, the best book out of this whole entire stack is the Bible. There's so much text in here about how to manage money from a financial stewardship standpoint. Over 2,600 verses about money in a Bible verse. Over 39% of Jesus' ministry was about the stories about handling money and possessions. Because when you want to understand money, you want to get consumed with information like I have. You want to understand taxes. You want to understand protection strategies. You want things to finally work together. When they do, you stop being a customer and you start thinking like a CEO. So let me break it down. Term insurance versus permanent insurance. Let's discuss term insurance, which is what? Temporary protection. Term equals temporary. Temporary for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, which means the lowest amount of cost, yet no cash value inside these policies. However, if you die during your term, your family's protected. Sadly, if you outlive it, it's over. It's like renting. Cheap when you're young, but brutal when you renew. 98% of term insurance policies never pay a death claim. Now, that's not because they're bad. It's because people outlive them or just cancel them too early. Term is a starting line, not a finish line. It's great leverage, but zero longevity. The sad part.
Notice he didn't say term is bad. Notice he didn't say that. He says it's a good starting point. I'll let you know my strategy in a second, but it's a good starting point.
Part about term insurance is, let's say, for example, you bought it at 30 years old. Next thing you know, you're 60. And how fast does life go by? Blink. Next thing you know, honey, I think I still need my life insurance policy. We've refinanced our house a couple of times. We bought new property. And this term insurance policy is expiring at 60. Now I'm 61. Now I have to pay a much higher premium for the life insurance policy I currently have based on annual renewal term rates, which explodes in cost. I said before, cheap when you're young, super expensive when you're older, especially if you have an annual renewable term type of situation. Now, let me break down permanent life insurance. Permanent insurance, which includes whole life, universal life, index universal life. Now, these things, they build cash value. It lasts your entire life, and it gives you control. It gives you access, your own cash for emergencies, for investments into business or equipment, or for your retirement. All these are often done without triggering income taxes under Internal Revenue Code 7702. See, permanent insurance isn't about dying rich. It's about living smart. Protection,
Correct.
liquidity, plus legacy, ownership. And when structured right, you're not buying insurance. You're building your family bank. Now, here's where term insurance actually makes sense. So let's be real. Term isn't the villain. In the right season of life, it's actually your best weapon. I still have a lot of term insurance. These scenarios, for example, if you're a young family, you have a tight budget, you need maximum death benefit coverage per your dollar, term is an excellent way for you to build leverage while you build your cash flow. But again, inside the policy, there's no cash value. Oh, second scenario here is income replacement. Let's say you have a $100,000 a year salary. You want to replace your income by 15 years. So you need to have $1.5 million of income to replace. Now, term insurance covers that, and that math is around $60 to $90 a month at the age of 30. So seriously, very affordable and expensive. It's like so cheap that these insurance companies are daring you to buy life insurance. What about if you're in debt or you have a business loan, like a mortgage or an SBA loan? Term perfectly matches the loan length, so your family or your business partner isn't stuck with debt. What about a scenario with college-age kids? Well, use term until they're independent. They're past 18 or 20 years old. So this buys time while you, as a parent, still grow your assets. Here's one of my favorite. What a conversion strategy. Start with term, end with perm. But we start with term. There's a conversion option that lets you switch to a permanent policy later on without new medical underwriting. In other words, you buy young, you lock in your health. Even if your health were to change down the road, you lock in your healthy, inexpensive life insurance premiums. And that's how pros buy time and build future leverage. So let me walk you through how to assess how much life insurance you actually need. It's called my DIME analysis, D-I-M-E. So let's do the math together. So let's look at my screen here. And we have a nice little worksheet here for you. And by the way, if I'm making sense to you right now, this whole term versus permanent, if the premise is right, please put make sense in the comment section below. Make sense. Awesome. Okay. So this is a worksheet. If you like, we can send this worksheet to you to your email. We'll put a link in here of how to get this worksheet absolutely for free. To my promise, we want an educated marketplace. If you look at this screen here, this term versus permanent decision guide, DIME stands for, it's an acronym, hello military training. DIME stands for D for debt, I for income, M for mortgage balance, E for education. So let's say, for example, you've got $50,000 in credit card debt and car loans. Let's say you got $150,000 a year job and you need 10 times to 15 times your annual income. In this case, let's just put 1.5 million. It's 10 times your annual salary. So 10 times your annual salary, 150,000 times 10 is 1.5 million. What happens if you have a $500,000 mortgage balance, life insurance to pay off that mortgage? What about education? Let's say if we have a child, you have a couple kids, it's $200,000 total for 2 kids, $100,000 each. So if you add this up, right? You've got your, let's say $1.5 million. You got your $500,000 for your debt, or excuse me, for your mortgage, $200,000 for your education, $50,000 for debt. So let's add all that up. So here you got 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 2 is 12. So you need $2.2 million of life insurance. That's what you need. So the question for you now is step 2 is figuring out what your situation is. And for most people, when they're younger with kids, they have a tight budget and you need to maximize your coverage right now. You need to get a lot of term insurance. You see, I told you I love term, but it isn't the only strategy out there. And I'll explain here throughout the length of this video why permanent insurance potentially might make sense for you. So in this scenario here, your protection strategy, there's so many different.
So stop right there, guys. Stop right there. Stop right there. So I want you guys to see that because of the fact that I like that Matt is being extremely honest. Honest. Term is not bad, guys, at all. At all. I hear a lot of discussion concerning coverage, guys. Concerning this, talking about how well, no, perm is better. A term is better. You should invest in term and invest the difference and all that stuff. I'm like, no. Let's be wise here. So I love what Matt is doing. Matt is talking. He's been very balanced in his approach, talking about, hey guys, what works best for your strategy, because it really depends on where you're at financially. So I love he's been honest about that whole scenario. So now let's go over to perm, guys, real fast, because I have to get ready to go to a party here in a second. But I want to make sure I get this done right for you guys. No, I don't do that. 1 second, cancel. Let's bring Matt back in real quickly, and let's talk about perm now. Here we go.
It's called maximum funding your index universal life policy, or maximum funding your whole life policy, or maximum funding your universal life policy. Yes, there are internal costs to this. To a maximum funded index universal life policy, there are costs based on this in compliance with 7702. What is this internal cost? Cost of insurance, cost of protection. But here's the thing. There's no tax drag. There's no penalty age requirement for you to access your money before 59.5-year-old rule. And there's built-in protection and living benefits. In other words, if something were to happen to you, you survive a heart attack, stroke, cancer, complications with diabetes, you need somebody to take care of you, home health care, you go to a nursing community, you need money for you to stay in that retirement community. Your money stays working while you are borrowing and loaning your money. And since you funded this policy with after-tax money that's already been taxed in your checking account, and you fund it into the policy, there is no longer any tax on it as it grows in accordance with 7702. In other words, your money can grow without paying a dime in tax, and then later on down the road, you can access this money without paying a dime in tax. At any time before age 59.5 years old or 65 or 70 years old, you won't be paying any income tax on the money you were accessed when you pull this money out. Well, some of you guys are saying, oh, Matt, this internal cost is index universal life policies. Don't you have to loan your own money? Well, here's the reality with index universal life policy. Your money stays working in the upside of the stock market, upside of S&P 500, whatever index you choose, while you access it. It's not like you're withdrawing it and cashing it out like a 401k or a stock bond or mutual fund. Most people will pay more in fees and taxes to Wall Street over 30 years than they ever would in a properly structured index universal life policy. And this is what I discovered with this book, Ed Slott. The new retirement savings time bomb. He talks about losses, he talks about taxes, and he talks about healthcare. And we interviewed him and discussed the situation at our events because he's figured out, he's known as America's IRA expert.
Most people don't realize they have a partner, Uncle Sam. And I don't know if you know it, he's not even your real uncle.
So the issue isn't that cash value is too expensive. Is that nobody shows anyone the fee drag, the tax drag, the ups and downs of the stock market drag, and protection gap side by side. And when somebody calls it a ripoff, I just say, show me your fee disclosure. Show me your 30-year discipline. Show me your tax plan. Show me protection if life goes wrong. And many, they can't. Because most people, they don't have a strategy. They got slogans. And respectfully, but truthfully, to the Dave Ramsey disciples out there, Dave Ramsey helps people get out of debt. Respect for that. But if he were right about building wealth, banks wouldn't use cash value. Investors wouldn't use cash value policies. Wealthy families wouldn't use cash value. And guess what? They do. Dave Ramsey, he teaches a lot about financial survival. And now I'm talking about financial leadership and generational impact. So let me share with you a...
So stop right there. How about that, guys? He's gonna go to the strategy. Now, what I'm gonna do is I am going to do a Kind of Move podcast on just this entire presentation, but also I'm gonna couple that with a caller called into Dave Ramsey's show, and they were talking about cash value versus term, right? And we're gonna couple that together and have Matt respond to this on that as well, guys. But guys, man, real quickly, guys, man, I like what Matt was doing concerning cash value, except what he was saying, that he's not saying that term is bad. What he's saying is, if you're saying buy term, invest the difference, great. If that's working, why are we having records amount of baby boomers having less than $100,000 in their retirement? I thought you invested the difference. We got to ask those questions, right? Got to ask those questions. We got to. Number two is, he's saying, where is your discipline? Where is it? Let me know. If it's so good, you'll be able to let me know what's your discipline at. Let me see what's been going on. Also, when it comes to agents, right, that are saying buy term, invest the difference. Okay, I'm rocking with you. All right. Show me the client's discipline. If what you're saying is correct, let's look at the results. Look at the results. Do you have those investigators out there? Sure you do. No problem with it at all. But what is the strategy, right? What's the strategy, right? Right? He's correct. These are corporate-owned life insurance, bank-owned life insurance, corporate-owned life insurance. I don't know what ILIT means. I forgot what the means and LERP. I know what all these means. All this stuff. This is real. This is not a theory. So I got to say to those, if you are saying invest the difference, here's my question to you. Show me the receipts. Let me see the discipline. Please present to me a different strategy that gives a different picture of retirees having less than $100,000 in their retirement account after working and doing all this stuff. Okay, irrevocable life insurance trust. I got you. Thank you. Ali says for irrevocable life insurance trust. Thank you. Yeah, I told you guys I'm not a life insurance agent at all. I utilize cash value. I utilize a lot of this stuff. I do. I utilize term. I think term is great. I think you should have a combination, right, of term and cash value. Term is the foundation as he presented, right? So if you were to pass away, your debts are paid in full, and your family actually has cash to survive on, right? And to give time to replace your income, right? Number two, then you have what I call your bankable or your cash value life insurance. That's the IUL whole life. I like the IUL product because of the flexibility of it. That's just my opinion. Whole life is fine. I think whole life is a little bit too heavy on the fees. That's just me. That's Liddell's strategy, right? So I've met people that actually love whole life, and that's great for them. Not a problem with it at all. But the one thing about it is the wealthy are not debating on what's the better strategy, term versus cash value. They're utilizing both. So what are you doing? Here's what I'm saying. I say this respectfully. Some of the brokest people on the planet are the most opinionated people on the planet. Oops, I said it. Some of the brokest people on the planet are some of the most opinionated people on the planet. They think they know everything, and they don't. Is that you? Is it? I don't know. But again, I wanted you guys to show a different strategy, right? As investors, what we typically do is our beginning point is not a bank. It isn't life insurance. We leverage that out and we make investments from there. Our money stays in an environment, increasing in value. We're borrowing the life insurance debt, right, at simple interest. And we're putting that money at risk. We're playing the bank's game. When you put money into a bank account, the bank buys bank-owned life insurance boldly. They do that. They literally do that. Why? Because your money just sitting on their balance sheet is a liability because they got to pay you some sort of interest, even though it's below 1%. They got to pay you that below. They got to pay you interest. They do. So it's a liability on their balance sheet. So they have to lend it out, but they insure that money first. So if what's happened, boom, there it is. They have the insurance to pay to make them whole. When it comes to municipal bonds, government bonds, international bonds, what's attached to those products? Insurance. When it comes to your money being in the bank account, what's attached to that insurance? FDIC. Everything insurance. Your house, your car. What is attached to it to ensure that you don't lose it if something was catastrophic to happen? Simple. Insurance. Everything insured. You can insure anything. I insure my rents. I insure my appliances. I insure all my investment properties. I insure all my cars, my money. Everything's insured. Everything. But your retirement isn't? How that make sense? Hello, McFly? How do you justify having insurance on your cars and your house, but your retirement has zero? That makes no damn sense at all. But the money that's in your retirement account right now with the wealth advisors, guess what? Those funds are insured. You don't believe me? Look at the balance sheet. So everybody has all their money insured but you and your retirement. How does that make sense? Answer that question. You can't. You can't. All I'm saying, guys, is make sure you understand the strategy is key. Before you become very opinionated and you talk and you be too confident in what you do not know, ask questions. And don't go into a debating environment. Just ask questions. Hey man, how you do this? How you do that? I call him my rich dad. Hey dad, as you're increasing in wealth, what do you do with your money? Why? He's at a level that I'm not at. Right? That's where he's at. So I ask questions. Hey, how do you do this? How you do that? Okay. Who do you use? How you do that for? We're always asking questions. All the time. All the time we ask questions. All the time. So what I'm saying is, what questions are you asking? Or do you know? Are you too confident in what you don't know? Again, I had to answer that question for myself as well also, and I had to become the student. Don't be opposed to becoming a student, no matter how big your bank account is. The wealthy love being a student. That's why they have wealth advisors around them. Hello. Well, guys, I gotta go, man. I hope this was the eventful. Again, I will be doing. I will be doing a more detailed one on this one again. I may come live again tomorrow and do a little bit more detailed one on the strategy and the true comparison versus term and cash value life insurance. And I may invite people on to talk with me about it, and we sit down and reason together. Just reason and talk about it. Right? So I'm thinking about doing that as well if I have some time tomorrow. But guys, thank you so much for your time. Real quickly, guys, hey, I tell everybody when it comes to real estate, guys, I am a real estate investor and private equity investor. If you want to make money in real estate, it's very simple. You make money when you buy, not when you sell. Guys, I'm getting away with a free ebook. Guys, a free ebook it is how to acquire distressed properties in your city, county, or state. It is free. Do one of three things. DM me the word real estate, say on the QR code right there, or click on the link below in the show notes and go download the free ebook. It's free. Don't cost you the money at all. All right. Number two, if you don't like real estate at all, I understand. I'm rocking with you guys. Hey, AI is eliminating jobs. Okay. Those who understand fintech or financial technology are going to be the wealth makers moving forward. Right? What's financial technology, guys? It's real simple. It's technology replacing jobs. Real simple. Right? If you want to know what that is, guys, and what may be a better option for you in wealth accumulation, no problem. It's free information. DM me the word mentor. See on the QR code right here or on the screen, or click on the link below in the show notes, guys. All right, guys. And guys, do me a favor. If you want to talk to your partner about anything at all, guys, hey, I'm on the app called Connect, guys. Call Connect, right? Talking about life, business, finance, real estate, marriage. Hey, guys, don't worry about it. Scan the QR code right there on the screen or click on the link below in the show notes and schedule time to talk with me, guys. Whether it be a video call, text message, a video message, a voice message, let me know. I'm right there, guys. All right? But, guys, man, thank you so much for your time. God bless you. Let's see. Anybody else want to say anything at all? Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Well, guys, man, thank you so much for your time. God bless you, man. You know, I end every single time, guys. Do me a favor, guys. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Subscribe to this, man, and comment below if you agree with me. And again, I'm going to do a more detailed one here moving forward, guys. Don't you worry about it. I will alert you guys. But guys, thanks so much for your time. God bless you. You know I leave. You know I end every time. Before you leave, while you can, you see that thing, baby. Take the picture for your mom and holler at your party. God bless you guys. See you next time. All right, y'all. Holler at your boy. Peace. Still working 40+ hours a week and still broke. Inflation's outpacing your wages. Insurance is insane. And your side hustle just isn't cutting it. What if I told you there was a way for you to build income by leveraging and using the exact same technology that banks and big corporations currently use right now? With no inventory and no tech skills needed. We have helped hundreds escape the paycheck-to-paycheck trap by sharing smarter services like lower cost healthcare, competitive auto and home insurance, better loan products, higher yield bank deposits, and even ways to cut energy costs, all in one place. Take this 30-second quiz to see if you qualify. Click on the link below or click on the link in my bio.